Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. We are here for F1 2019. It's Season 3 Division 1 as we take in round 10 of the championship from the German Grand Prix at the Hockenheim Ring. Good evening everyone, I am James Head, going to be taking you through the action as always on a Saturday night here on the League of Europe channel. And Division 1 does prove to be a very good race. I think tonight in Germany we should see a lot of overtaking and a lot of good action out on track. Hopefully we get a near full grid, which is what we were lacking in the last couple of weeks or so. So obviously we're here in Germany. Of course there is a more pressing matter that is going around at the minute, and that of course is the coronavirus. And as I like to do in every stream now, within the last week or so, I'd like to give the best advice and the latest information about the coronavirus. And I know many people will be worried about it. Yes, it might not necessarily affect the sim racing community, but it is better to be proportionate about the measures that are in place rather than just go about your everyday life, because this will inevitably affect everyone at some point. That is the main message I want to try and get across. Really, just a repeat of what I've already been saying over the last 2 weeks, certainly here in League of Europe. Wash your hands with soap and water often. Do it for 20 seconds, length of singing Happy Birthday or the national anthem of the United Kingdom here in the UK. Always wash your hands when you get home or into work. Needless to say, same with school, and also same with if you're working in any sort of outside environment as well. Use hand sanitizer gel if soap and water are not available. Cover your mouth and nose with a tissue on your sleeve, but not your hands when you cough or sneeze. It's inevitable that happens. Put any used tissues into the bin immediately and wash your hands afterwards. Needless to say, I think people already do this, but it's just a repeat of the advice. And try to avoid close contact with people who are unwell, especially for my thing 60 plus. Anybody that has got grandparents or anyone like that, keep an eye out for them, because they are the most vulnerable to the coronavirus. So keep an eye on them, even if it's a 5-minute pop in to say hello, see how you do, and make them a cup of tea, make them feel a little bit better, then go ahead and do so, because I think that is better than taking no risk at all. And hopefully we can all work together to defeat the coronavirus eventually. And of course, I'd like to associate myself with quite a few of the F1 community at this moment in time and say we're thinking about everyone who has been affected by the coronavirus, whether that's through a death or through any infections. And I know there's a couple of people within the League of Europe community. I know one for sure who has been tested. Another person that I know personally has also been tested as well. So obviously it is going to get worse before it gets better, but the more that people are aware about this, the better we will all be as a society, and the better we can actually move on from it in the longer term. So hopefully my advice is clear. I do want to try and repeat that during the course of tonight's stream, because it is a health emergency, and I'm sure you guys are aware that you want to try your best to help people around you as well. Looking at some of the comments then that are coming through, I'll get to the standings in just a second, but I'll have a look into the comment section. I'm doing very well, my crew. I've got a bit of a sore throat, which is probably why you can hear me sucking on Strepsil at this stage, but trust me, I'm fine. I don't have coronavirus. It's just a bit of a sore throat, a little bit of a sniffly nose. That is it. Common cold, if anything else, I think, is what I'm trying to say there. Palmer coming in and saying, hope you're doing well. Stay safe against the coronavirus, everyone. Yeah, totally associate myself with that. And it's needless to say that people should be taking no risks at all when it comes to it. Washing hands, keeping a good health hygiene, that's all that matters. And Breadbank coming in saying James equals GOAT in capitals. Thank you very much, Breadbank. I haven't even commented over the action yet, but it's good to see that I'm well respected within the League of Europe community as always. And I hope to provide you just that little bit of shining light. Of course, with sport being cancelled, I want to try and provide you with the best commentary possible here in Germany at the Hockenheim Ring. So let's get started and let's get into the standings. And Needless to say, with Alphatrix's DNS last time out, it is Alphatrix who still leads the championship, but his gap has reduced to 33 points, and ILRT Louis now into second. 4 consecutive wins on the bounce for ILRT Louis. How is he going to get on tonight in Germany? Well, we'll have to find out, because both of them, I'm under the impression of, are racing here tonight, which is fantastic to see. They're not within the lobby at this moment in time, but we should get the drivers in very soon indeed. So, Alphatrix on top on 138 points, 105 for Louis in second, with Montana in third, the defending champion, of course, here in Division 1 on 93 points. Campbell's in fourth on 85 points, with Verstappen in fifth on 74. Then in sixth is Cantera on 71. While Luigi's in 7th on 67, then a bit of a breakdown to Alonso, who was on 47. Bullet Boy's in 9th on 43, hope to see him racing tonight as well. And Cohen is in 10th on 34 points. Doom is in behind him on 33, just a point behind. Larkin is on 22 points, tied with X-Jarry on 22 as well. Schiaparelli on 18 after getting his second place last time out and scoring Racing Point's first championship points of the season, which I'm sure he'll be very proud of indeed. So he's in 14th, as I say, on 18 points. Then we've got Toxic in 15th on 11. Little Blocks in the McLaren in 16th on 8 points, with Sam in 6th on... Sam in 17th on 6 points. Decky's on 3, and Caesar is here tonight, but he's yet to score any points within the championship standings. Constructors, Mercedes lead, but it's a very reduced margin. 2 points separates Mercedes and Ferrari, 139 to 137. Then McLaren in third on 126. Fourth is Red Bull on 119, with Alfa Romeo in fifth on 104. Renault is in sixth on 89, with Haas in seventh on 86. Then in eighth is Toro Rosso on 84 points, so quite close between those three teams there. Williams in ninth on 38. And Sport Pesa Racing, all Racing Point, they're there on 18 points. So, that's the standings over and done with. Let's have a look then at who's just joined the lobby. Alphatrix and Louis, first and second in the championship, are here, so I can report that the action out on track should be quite phenomenal indeed. We have got 15 drivers currently here out on track. We should be getting going within the next couple of minutes or so. June just rejoining the lobby there to probably with a little bit of a disconnect maybe. So hopefully he doesn't disconnect during the course of the tonight. We're here with the Hockenheim ring. 17 corners then await the drivers out on track. 2 DRS zones, 1 down towards turn 2, which is just after the 90-degree right-hander through turn 1. And then 1 through the Kinka Parabolica, not to be confused of course with Monza's Parabolica. That is the kink running through turn 5 towards the hairpin at turn 6. That's where the DRS zone ends. And then there's multiple corners out on track that the drivers will be fearful of. In terms of track limits, I've been told that at the exit of turn 10 and turn 11, that drivers are not to excessively overextend that during qualifying or indeed the race. And I'll just get that up for you guys now, just to confirm that, because it did come through within the steward's report. If I have a look, yeah, it is not allowed to overly extend on the exit of turn 10 or 11. You are at most allowed to have your right tyres on the middle of the round curbs. Going wide by accident can happen, and if that happens, let go off the throttle just that little bit. Of course, if you've got any other drivers going around you and you're going side by side through there, then please give a lot of respect out on track to them, because we don't want to have any accidents, and you don't want to be getting a slap end of the day in the stewards on the Discord. But here we go, Germany, 18 minutes worth of qualifying, 50% race, which I think is totaling 36 laps around here, if I remember off the top of my head. First race held here in 1970, and what race we have in prospect here tonight, with 16 drivers about to do battle, and a big welcome to LR Ghost, who is joining in, regular in the Formula 2 over the last couple of weeks. He now makes the step up into a full-time seat in Williams for the rest of the season. So I hope you join me in welcoming him to Division 1. As you can see, we are a bit lacking in drivers. If you know that's anyone that is quick, please send them our way, because we want to see the best action here in Division 1. Beautiful blue skies here in Germany. That's what we like to see at the start of qualifying. So 18 minutes are about to begin on qualifying. We're going for a 3-lap race, as you saw there on the left-hand side of the screen. Goodness me, if we went for a 3-lap race, it'll probably be over and done with, and this stream will probably last about 10 minutes. But can tell you that we should be getting going for qualifying very shortly indeed. Who is your favourite drivers out on track? Do let me know in the comments section. Of course, if you do have any support for the drivers out on track, if you've just purely came here by coincidence and you just came to join in the stream, then welcome. Like, comment and subscribe, and tick that notification bell to League of Europe as well. And while I'm at it, I will also self-promote the league on Twitter, at League of Europe. That is at League of Europe on Twitter. Go and check them out, because there's a lot of good social media content, and obviously have a check of the top 5 moments which are released on Fridays as well. We've got the first car coming on out on track, and it looks like it's Larkin who is first out on track in the Tifosi car of the Ferrari. And he's on a set of medium compound of tyres. Ignore the tyre graphic on the left-hand side of your screen. Normally, when it comes around here, and I've commentated on Germany a couple of times so far in other leagues, keep an eye out for everyone on different tyres. Larkin on a set of medium compound of tyres. That is the set that they tend to go on at the start of qualifying, and then they swap to the softs about halfway in. If, however, you are the likes of... I'm just trying to pick up on somebody that is on a set of soft compounded tyres, but nobody is. So I'll go on board and I'll just take Little Blocks for an example. Obviously, he's on a set of softs currently. He's gone into a set of hards, however. So I'll swap out and see if we can get somebody. It looks like everyone, though, is going on a set of medium compound of tyres. So that's ruined me a little bit there, to be honest, trying to describe the tyre graphic to you guys. But Larkin is out on track. He's just going through Sachs Curve at turn 13. Through 14 and 15, now preparing up for his lap. He's got plenty of space out on track to prepare for this lap, and we'll ride on board for a lap at the Hockenheim Ring with Larkin, who is hoping to get a good performance here out on track. So he crosses the line, now comes through turn 1, very flat right-hander, and that is not how you take turn 1. It's still a valid lap, however, so he could still go around and complete this lap. I'll just ride on board with Cohen then, who's just gone through turn 1 as well, and Red Bull man now coming down towards turn 2. If you hear me talking a little bit weirdly, by the way, it is because I've still got that strepsil in my mouth. And Cohen just invalidates there going through turn 3. I think he knows it, and he just drops off on his lap. We'll ride on board then with Montana, who's through the first 2 turns safely. And we'll ride on board with him through the course of the lap. That's how you take turn 3. Now on the run towards Parabolica through 4 and 5 there. Now this is turn 5. Then up towards the hairpin at turn 6. We should see the end of the first sector coming up very shortly indeed. Sorry, the end of the second sector will be, of course, after the next couple of corners and the Mercedes-Benz grandstand. 16 drivers, as I say, out on track. We should get the first laps being set out on track very shortly indeed. Montana then is coming round towards turn 10 and 11. This is where the track extension, and that is not how you take turn 10 and 11, and that's why you get an invalidation if you go that wide. So Montana, everyone pretty much that we've been on board with so far is struggling. Keep it over Verstappen, however, as Larkin does set that lap at 1:16.2. Verstappen then in the Toro Rosso, just coming around the final couple of corners now. 2 Sachs Curve at turn 13, famously where Vettel went off in 2015. Verstappen getting very out wide there, to be honest. Louis takes top of qualifying at this stage. Verstappen across the line. He goes about 8 thousandths behind Toxic with that lap. So Louis on top, Alonso second, Toxic third at this moment in time. Let's ride on board then with Caesar, the Indian man who is coming around the final couple of corners now. Not on any sort of good lap here. He's on a set of hard compound of tyres, and it's a 1:15.3. Good to get a banker lap in though, because you don't want to be down towards the bottom end of the field unless there's a bit of contact out on track. Then obviously we are going to see Hopefully not any contact out on track, and we should see some very good action here within the first 5 minutes of qualifying. However, it is RLT Louis who is out on top. From Alonso in second, Toxic third, Verstappen fourth, Caesar fifth, Larkin in sixth at this current moment in time. If you are just tuning in to the session and to the Division 1 stream, then welcome, as Larkin improves up to third with a 1:11.9. Cantera goes in even quicker, in fact, with a 1:11.6. I think that was Waluigi coming in as well with a 1:12.2. So the Belgian has come across the line there in 7th position. Schiaparelli is the driver we were on board with. There's a Mercedes off on the left-hand side of the right-hand side of the track. That was RLT Louis. Campbell then coming round the final corner now, and he's about to start off on another lap. Well, right on board though with Schiaparelli, who's interestingly one of the only drivers that has been out on a soft compound of tyre. And the German now coming through the first sector. It's a personal best first sector, 15.4 I think that was for Schiaparelli through the first sector. Running down the straight. Now into the hairpin at turn 6. Got to get right tight into the apex, get the best run out as possible. Drivers do tend to take different lines through there. Through the, if you go from the outside of the corner to the inside, then you will get the best possible run out of the corner. But Schaeffler the option to go inside, and going up the inside of turn 8 there, and he's picked up an invalid lap. So the German at his home track, not doing well so far, yet to set a lap out on track. Little blocks there coming into the pits. Just trying to pick up then on somebody that is on a lap. We'll spot on board with Kvyat Verstappen in the meantime. The Toro Rosso man, the 1:12.074. Not sure if he's going to come into the pits. I don't think he will. I think he's on a lap here. Yeah, the Toro Rosso man ran the final 2 corners. Very, very tricky track to actually get a clean lap in, and Verstappen runs out of fuel towards the line, and he goes a 10th down. So if he didn't run out of fuel there, I think he would have gone just that little bit quicker. As Alonso comes, sorry, not Alonso, that was Campbell coming in with a 1:11.5, just shy of a 1:11.6 there. Yellow flag in sector 1 is for Verstappen, who is off on a lap. Schiaparelli has invalidated once again. Montana then, the defending Division 1 champion, has been getting some good races within himself in the last couple of weeks, and again picks up an invalidation just coming out of turn 11, now through turn 12, and he's just picked up that invalidation on the outside of the curve. If you do run and track extend, then obviously there are going to be penalties given, and you don't, as I say, want to get a slap wrist by the stewards here out on track this evening. Alpha Trix is struggling early, still yet to set a lap. Our current leader of the championship coming into tonight, 138 points, 105 I think it was for ILRT Louis, if I remember off the top of my head. So obviously out on track, Alpha Trix doing a good job. Yeah, 138 to 105 is the gap between the two. So even if Alpha Trix DNFs out of this race, then if ILRT Louis as well wins, it's still not enough to get ILRT Louis the championship lead. But in the last 4 weeks, he has dominated affairs out on track. And currently dominating affairs in qualifying out on track is ILRT Louis, who is currently in the pit lane. But 1:11.1. I'm going to tune into the comment section though and see how you guys are doing on this fine Saturday evening. And that's right on board then with the comments section. Good evening to Larkin coming in and saying, what wet start to the race. Wet start to the race, says Larkin. Oh, Mark saying, James, one day it won't rain in the race. One day, yeah. Division 1 seems to have had a bit of a habit, I think, this season to have wet races. Clearly, the gods of Codemasters do not want to give us a full dry race, which is a shame because I want to see a lot of overtaking. I think, especially around here, though, out on track, within the wet, we're still going to get some good action out on track. And hopefully it's not a case of it's full wets at the start. I'd rather prefer it to be inters and then it swaps to dries around the mid stage of the race. I think that's probably going to be the likeliest scenario, but don't take my word for it, just take the weather forecaster's word for it within the comment section. Alpha Trix with a 49.3 through the middle sector and looking good as he comes through the Sachs curve, of course, famously in Vettel's car where he went off there in 2018. Alpha Trix then coming through the final couple of corners now, looking very good through here. Can he beat ILRT Louis' time of a 1:11.1? He just goes shy, about a 10th and a half off, so Louis still out on top. Alpha Trix coming in there with a 1:11.2 out on track and he goes second there. Little Block's not on a lap. Well, Ouija has just started off on 1. I'm just going to mute myself for a minute. I'm going to take a little break from commentary. My throat is sore, and we'll be back in just a minute, but I'm still here. Larkin coming in then with a 110.8, so he goes about 3/10 quicker than ILRT Louis. Don't be fretting if you are an ILRT Louis fan, or indeed an Alphatrix fan. They're going to improve on that lap. Larkin with a 110.8, ILRT Louis with a 111.1 and 111.2 for Alphatrix. You should see, in terms of mediums to softs, about an 8/10 difference, I think, is the way to go. ILRT Louis is just coming around the final corner there. Well, right on board though with June, who was just coming towards turn 8 now. And the Spaniard running very wide through there, running way too wide through there. Luckily, he's got a valid lap, and it's a 49 flat. He's on a set of soft compound of tyres as well, the Spaniard, as he now comes through towards the turn 13 hairpin, getting very tight to the FX, will lose the speed on exit of the corner. Now through 14 and 15, into 16, got to fling the car into the corner. 110.8 currently Larkin's lap time, and very close to the invalidating his lap there, but June across the line goes second with a 111 flat, while Ouija also came in with a 111.5. ILRT Louis then is on a lap. Let's focus then on one of the main championship protagonists. 4 wins in a row, as I repeat, out on the stream here. He's 6/10 up through the middle sector, so this is what I mean. Probably about an 8-9 improvement in terms of mediums to softs. ILRT Louis then through Sachs Curve at turn 13. Now through 14 and 15. This is looking like a really good lap currently. He doesn't run too wide through 16. He doesn't. Now through 17. Through the final corner. ILRT Louis to the top of the standings. Where's he going to go though? It's a 110.2. And it's about a 9/10 improvement for ILRT Louis. Alphatrix has got it all to do, I think, in qualifying. He's got to find a second on ILRT Louis, which I think is now an impossible on track. Campbell then on a set of soft compound of tyres. He's now 5.5 up coming through the middle sector as LR goes on his debut, sets the same lap time as Larkin, a 110.8 from the Lifford Racing man. Campbell though in the meantime, the Brit, the Division 2 champion from last season, now coming around the final couple of corners, already with a race win to his name, that was in Monaco, and Campbell now coming around the final corner and really coming alive through the final couple of corners. He goes 4th with a 110.9. So really, I think with the first lap being set, Alonso now through the final corner, the other German out on track, and he goes 5th with a 110.832. I think that's Cohen coming around the final corner. It's not, it's Verstappen just coming around the final corner as Chapelletti comes in with a 111.9. Little Block's not on the lap, has been struggling out on track. Cantera went second with a 110.5, so he's improved up into second position as well, the Spaniard. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, no, I thought I saw his teammate is in the pits. So that is my eyesight going right there. However, Montana is on some sort of a lap as ILRT Louis is off track coming through 16. Just think letting the driver through, and he's just going on for another lap, I do believe, there out on track. Montana is not going for this lap at all, neither is Campbell. And now there is Cohen, because Cohen is into the pits. Alphatrix then on a lap. Let's see what the current championship leader can do. And he's only a 10th up through the first sector, but all that time can be made up within the middle and the final sectors out on track. Running through Parabolica doesn't look as quick as what I've seen some of the other drivers do tonight. But Alphatrix into the hairpin at turn 6, looking very good indeed. Tries to get the exit as possible. Running very low gears down towards turn 7, flat through here and then down into the Mercedes-Benz braking point in front of the Mercedes-Benz grandstand. And the Mercedes out on top. I think the German fans will be going quite apocalyptically quite brilliant, I think, in the stands. They'll be going absolutely mad. That's what I'm trying to say with that. Mixing up my words there. Alphatrix with a 111.2, they're out on track. Through Sachs Curve, he was 5.5 up. That is ILRT Louis going for a bit of a drift there through the final couple of corners. Got the speed. Alphatrix through the final corner though, trying to attack ILRT Louis' time across the line. Not close enough, and he's barely ahead of Cantera, so only a 7.25 improvement there from Alphatrix, and he goes second out on track. Verstappen then is not on a lap. Let's try and pick up on somebody that is. Toxic is on board with a lap. TTG Toxic out on track in the Williams, joined by LR Ghost, of course, tonight. And through turn 10 he goes there. That was through turn 11, in fact. He's 5.5 tenths up, improving on a 112 flat. We should see a notable improvement, I think, within the final sector from him. He'll probably go in and around Campbell, Verstappen, Montana area, I think, with this sort of lap. But now the Brit is through the final couple of corners, and in fact he's coming into the pit lane. So Toxic is into the pits, and I think wise decision there, out on track, come into the pits. We have got drivers out on out laps currently, and the first one of those, I do believe, is Alonso. So I will take a brief 30-second comfort break for myself, and I'll be back in just that moment of time. So through the final corner now, Alonso takes to his lap. So the German at his home track through turn 1, looking very good there. There's a Renault, I think, just coming out to the right-hand side of him. That, I think, was Waluigi coming out the pits. It was. So Alonso then through turn 2 now. Then in towards turns 3 and 4. Very tricky to get these corners right, but he has done. He's 300s down, actually, on his lap time. A 1:10.832 is his current personal best. Now on the run towards the speed trap and towards turn 6 at the hairpin. There's a racing point ahead, which I think is Caesar out on track. Caesar should be getting out of the way here. Alonso running then on his lap. Caesar gets out of the way. Alonso now through turn 7. And then towards turn 8, the Haas man currently in 6th. The only Haas actually out on track tonight. But the German looking like he's going very nicely on this lap. Through turn 10 and 11 was a Williams there to the left hand side and a racing point, so they're just letting the drivers through. He's making up the time though, 300ths of a second made up in that final, into the middle sector, now into the final sector. Through sector curve at turn 13, now through 14 and 15. What is Alonso going to do as he comes around the final 2 corners, running very nearly wide onto the apex, getting a much better run out onto the inside of the curb. He's going to improve on this lap, and it's a 1:10.7, finds a little bit more in that final sector, nearly a 10th or so, and Alonso goes up to 4th. I think that was Cohen just coming across the line as well to go 9th. Let's run on board then with somebody of priority that is on a lap, and we'll go on board with Larkin, who's just coming through the middle sector now. Watch out for Little Blocks and the likes as well out on track. I think Little Blocks is just coming around the final corner there, and he goes 4th with the 1:10.6. Just saw that on the mini map. Williams, I think, coming across the line was Toxic, maybe to start another lap. Larkin through the Sachs curve at turn 13. Good teammate ahead of him, Alphatrix. But Alphatrix will have right of way for the road. Larkin now through the final corner. Looking very good indeed, the Brit. Looks like he's going to improve on this lap, and he does. It's a 1:10.7 and dead on a 10th of a second there from Larkin. He invalidates his lap, so that's no longer a lap that is going to be valid for him. RRC Louis and Alphatrix have both invalidated laps, it looks like, through turn 1. Cantera's not on a lap at this stage, neither's Little Blocks, neither are the top 7. However, Ghost is, so we'll run on board with Ghosts out on track as qualifying has now ended. So we're going to see a lot of drivers coming around the final couple of corners. Alonso goes ahead of Larkin with a 1:10.709, 4 thousandths between himself and... Oh, and actually, Ghost goes a little bit quicker than Larkin. So it's a 1:10 flat. Everyone sending around the 1:10.7s. I can hardly keep up with this. Campbell coming around the final couple of corners. He's off on a lap. Montana then. Let's see what he can do. Can he improve on a 1:11 flat? It looks a bit outpaced, I think, here tonight in qualifying. But Montana around the final corner should be improving. Where's he going to go? He goes 8th with a 1:10.7. What is it with everyone in 1:10.7s tonight? Campbell across the line, not happy with his lap. Ciappellelli is up by 9/10 of a second. Should see him go around Little Blocks Verstappen sort of area, I think, with this one. So now comes around the final couple of corners. It is only then Ciappellelli that is on a visible lap. So the Racing Point man, the German, can he beat ILRT Louis for qualifying? He can't. He goes 6th with a 1:10.6, and ILRT Louis outscores Doom, who went 2nd. Didn't spot that, but I have now 1:10.3 for Doom in 2nd. The Spaniard, Alphatrix 3rd, Cantera with a good qualifying in 4th, Little Blocks in 5th. We're just waiting on Larkin to retire from the session, and then that will be qualifying over and done with. But ILRT Louis out on track, dominates, well, not dominates, but it's 600th of a second nonetheless his advantage, and that's an advantage to have going into the race, especially with Doom in behind and with a wet race start ahead. So qualifying has now ended, and ILRT Louis has taken it by 600th of a second from Doom in 2nd, Alphatrix in 3rd. But look at the talent out on track, and look at how close everyone is. Cantera is 4th, Little Blocks in 5th, Schiaparelli in 6th. Now I'm going to read it out. Verstappen, Alonso, Montana, Ghost and Larkin separated by 1300ths of a second. Unbelievable stuff. Campbell just in behind there in 12th, Cohen in 13th, Waluigi in 14th. The top 14 within 9/10 of a second, Cito and Toxic opting to go medium compound of tyres, and they are 15th and 16th respectively out on track tonight. Let's see then what you guys have been saying. A very promising qualifying section then out on track. The qualifying session, I should say, out on track. And we should be getting going, as I say. And look at the tyres. It is green-walled tyres, which essentially says to me it's intermediate conditions. So exactly how I predicted it. It is intermediate conditions out on track. It's a dry race for Division 3 as well. If you want to watch the Division 3 race as well, 34 laps away to the drivers both here in Division 3 and in Division 1. And of course, I'm commentating for Division 1. Division 3 is the other stream going on. Ricardo on top, Ben 2nd, James in 3rd, and Storm on his debut in League of Europe, I think, tonight. He is in 4th for the TTG team. So if you want to go and watch that, it is a dry start. But if you want to watch some very good action out on track, then stay here for Division 1 out on track. Montana saying he's gone for the wet setup gamble. Larkin saying he's always close. He's always at the back of these close quali times. It comes to show, though, what talent we have actually got in League of Europe Division 1. And with intermediate conditions will pose a whole new threat, because if anybody is wanting to find out how to drive in intermediate conditions, my best advice is don't take your dry braking points, because honestly around this track you're probably going to go either straight on or straight on into somebody. So out on track the drivers have just got to air that little bit of caution, especially within the first 3 laps. I think no DRS, remember, so everyone has got to do as they say, really, out on track. Everyone, as I say, on a set of inters, there's not really much I can go into in terms of strategy. You should be seeing, if we have a full inters towards the last 10 laps, the drivers would, I think, have to pit before halfway and then go to the crossover period. So maybe a 2-stop race might be on for quite a few of these guys. If the rain stops early, which we are expecting it to, if it stops before halfway, say around lap 10, lap 11, and the track begins to dry out nicely, then we should see dry compound of tyres around the halfway stage, probably just before then, lap 14, 15, 16, around that point, I think, out on track. But can ILRT Louis do what no other driver, apart from Montana last season, has done in League of Europe Division 1? And can he win 5 races back to back here tonight? Doom just taking a little bit of avoiding action there on the formation lap. Coming through Sachs Curve then for the final time on this formation lap. And we're now coming through towards the final couple of corners with the guys out on track, and hopefully we are going to get some predictions in the comment section. I'm going to go for a very bold prediction, I think, and say ILRT Louis is going to win. I think Alphatrix is going to be 2nd, just judging by what they've done this season, and for 3rd I'm going to go for Schiaparelli. I think Schiaparelli might have a good race here at his home track. The final cars then are coming to join onto the grid, and we're just moments away from the race here in Germany. The revving engines then about to signal that we are about to go out. 5 red lights are about to go out here, out on track for the German Grand Prix, round 10 of League of Europe Division 1. Lights out and away we go. ILRT Louis gets a very good start. Doom just hanging off the wheel spin slightly with Alpha Trix trying to go around the outside of him into turn 1. Looking like everyone is staying a little bit cautious through turn 1 and everyone's clean through. A little bit of a mistake there by Toxic on the outside of the apex, but Louis leads the way down towards turn 2. Cantera trying to go up the inside of his teammate Doom, as that was Alonso trying to get past Chapelletti and Little Blocks in the same move as well. But ILRT Louis away, 1.1 seconds out on track, and that's the advantage to have the lead here early on as the cars filter through Parabolica. Could have a 3-wide scenario in the background. It's Campbell, Montana and Larkin by the looks coming in towards the hairpin. Everyone just got to stay very careful out on track. Cantera has gone past his teammate Doom further up the field. He's gone up to 3rd and they're just side by side. The Alpha Male flying through shot, but we're focusing on the back of the field currently out on track with Larkin and Ghost. Ghost getting the move done as that, I think, is that somebody going off there? No. Now, that had just been my lag there. Larkin trying to go up the inside line of Toxic. Toxic around the outside outside line, though, has got the move done. And Waluigi's been caught up in that as well. Plenty of action early on, but ILRT Louis leads by 1.4 seconds out on track. From Alpha Trix in 2nd, Cantera 3rd, Doom 4th, Little Blocks in 5th, Chapelletti in 6th. Caesar has gone past Waluigi as well. He's up to 14th position. Chapelletti in 6th, as I say. Alonso 7th, Verstappen 8th, Montana 9th, Campbell 10th, Ghost in 11th, Toxic 12th, Larkin 13th, Caesar 14th, Waluigi into the pits in 15th, and Cohen then will take that position. So, a relatively clean start. A little bit of bumping and barging, I've got to say, within the midfield, but all clean out on track from a majority of the drivers, which is good to see, and good to see that we've been shown the air of caution as well as Little Blocks trying to fight through on Doom. This is 4th and 5th position. You can see the spray being picked up out of the Alfa Romeo, and now the McLaren will be looking to the inside line here. Little Blocks then down the inside, and I think he's going to have this one done. Doom might try and hold him around the outside, but Little Blocks, lovely move there down the inside, gets the move done, pulls away from Doom. Easy as you like. That is for 4th position, and Little Blocks is through. Doom then trying to fight onto the back. Chapelletti is up a couple of positions early on. In fact, he's stayed as he is. So there are the position gains early on out on track as we got a bit of battle going on further down the field. Toxic around the outside of Caesar. Caesar, I think, was trying to commit that move down the inside. Toxic, though, doing a good job out on track, and he's currently in 13th. Caesar in 14th, trying to fight to the inside line. Doesn't want to be fighting down the inside of that corner, however, and he runs wide in the process. Doom trying to get onto the back of Little, and a little bit of a train beginning to form up like an L and the R here out on track. But at the end of lap 2 onto lap 3, ILRT Louis leads, but Alpha Trix sets the new fastest lap of the race with a 23.7, about a 10th quicker than his rival ahead, his championship rival ahead. But ILRT Louis leads from Alpha Trix in 2nd, Cantera 3rd, Little Blocks 4th, Doom 5th, Chapelletti in 6th, Alonso 7th, Verstappen, Montana, Campbell filling out the top 10 with Ghost, Larkin, Toxic, Caesar, Cohen and Waluigi, who did come into the pits as a result of front wing damage. He's down there all by himself, just about to come across the line there in 16th position. So, Doom right on the back of Little Blocks. Alonso trying to go down the inside of Chapelletti as well. The two Germans found out on track. I wonder if anybody has favourites, I wonder, within the grandstand out on track tonight. As Doom just lagged slightly there. Chapelletti trying to get onto the back of him. Not really any resulting overtakes currently out on track. Hopefully we don't get the same as what we saw in Silverstone last week in Britain. There was a top 5 montage somehow out of that one, but Verstappen right on the back of Alonso though in the meantime, and he filters through. They all filter through turn 12 now, and it's still as you were from the last lap ago. 3 out of 34 about to end, about to go on to lap 4 here out on track, and Louis is dominating things out in front and just keeping it within himself. It's 1.2 seconds from Alpha Trix in 2nd, as I think, has Doom had a disconnect? No, Doom is lagging though quite a lot out on track, so Doom just got to be careful. Hopefully he doesn't have a disconnect. It has proven costly for him in the past. Hopefully we don't see that though out on track. Hopefully if he's got the stream on in the background, turn it off and focus on your race. That's the best advice I can probably give to anyone. Alonso then on the back of Chapelletti coming through turn 4, and that's a much better exit there from Alonso down to the inside line. Chapelletti had absolutely no chance. He went around the outside, he got caught onto the grass I think as well, as that is Verstappen going sailing on by on the inside line. Down into the braking zone then, and Chapelletti will try and switch it back up the inside. Verstappen always going to have the traction around the outside of the corner. And Verstappen is through and he's up into 7th position. So very good moves there out on track and very good respectful driving from Schiaparelli. Could have easily tried to launch the car up the inside and made a little bit of contact, but the German keeping it nice and steady out on track, and I think everyone just airing that little bit of caution with it being quite wet out on track as Schiaparelli just struggles there. As that is Montana trying to look around the outside. Montana not going to get the move done there though, and the Swissman will just have to stay in behind Schiaparelli out on track. As a result of all the battles actually beginning to happen, well, Luigi is closing in that gap to Cohen. That was 26 seconds the last time I looked. It's now 19.9. Alphatrix out on track though, 23.4 through that lap, and I'll just run on board with the fastest lap. He's about 300s ahead there of ILRT Louis in terms of fastest lap. But in the meantime, which battle to pick up on? Larkin right on the back of Gulls for 11th position out on track. This is for the final point scoring position, of course. If we are brand new to League of Europe, we do offer top 12 positions in terms of point scoring, but not the top 15 like some other leagues do, like the F2 League, for example. Montana just in the foreground of shot, beginning to get onto the back now of Schiaparelli. Could the Swiss man launch it down the inside? He will. Can he get the car stopped, however? He can. Schiaparelli waltzes down the inside, though. Montana couldn't get the car stopped in time, and Schiaparelli just waltzes through back down the inside of him. So Montana trying a bold move there to try and go down the inside line, and again he thinks about going for that little bit of a lunge but doesn't quite pull it off. Larkin is on the back of Ghost as well, taking the of caution. Could have easily tried to go up the inside. He was about a 10th behind him coming through turn 8 there. Larkin on the back of Ghost, and Verstappen now getting onto the back of Alonso out on track. It is quite a ball of a race, if I've got to be honest, out on track. The rain is not getting any lighter out on track. It has stayed the same pretty much since lights fall, and out on track it is ILRT Louis who still leads from Alphatrix in second. Cantera is just dropping off the front two, but it comes to show I think the front two are a class above the rest here in League of Europe Division 1. Toxic then on the back of Larkin, picks up a 3-second time penalty there. We saw that, but he's going to try and go to the inside line here at turn 2 possibly. And Toxic to the inside line on the Williams against the Ferrari. The Williams trying to pull it off around the outside. Always favours the inside this corner, however. And around the outside goes Toxic. Good action there between them both. As the Ferrari and the Williams now go side by side. Look at this. Larkin looks like he's just about got the straight line speed on Toxic. Toxic will then come back into the slipstream. He'll try and go for the move down the inside. The brakes on his fellow countrymen just lean on each other slightly. No contact, however. And Larkin has got the move done around the outside. So he keeps P12. Toxic, tried as he might, could not find a way through. And Larkin's through and he's up to P12. Good move. Good racing out on track between them both. Caesar and Cohen trying to battle it out further behind as well. Montana trying to get onto the back of Schiaparelli as well. 8th and 9th currently out on track. You can see how much more grip it looks like that Montana has got. He just seems a lot more confident, I think, out on track compared to his German in front of him. We go through lap 7 out of 34 out on track. Louis leads from Alphatrix in second, Cantera third. Little Blocks is in fourth and has pulled away now from Doom. Looking at the position changes, Doom has lost the most positions out on track. 3 positions lost for the Spaniard. Coming through turn 1 out on track as I really begin to struggle with my points. I'm going to try and continue on though. Montana right on the back of Schiaparelli. And again, Schiaparelli just runs a little bit wide there. Montana getting caught on the curb. Any catch of the white line could be a possible goner for anyone out on track. Of course, the safety car is enabled here. Toxic right on the back of Larkin as Montana tries to dive it down the inside again, and Schiaparelli that was to cut him off, and Schiaparelli gets the switchback done again on him, and Montana, try as he might, not getting the move done that time around either. He tries to switch it down the inside. Montana may be getting a little bit impatient here. Looks like Schiaparelli might be holding him up out on track. He's got to maintain a bit of calmness, I think, out on track as Montana. And he's right on the back of Schiaparelli. But in the meantime, we've got another little battle just ahead developing. Schiaparelli is all out of shape and Montana is let through. Schiaparelli, I think, realised if he'd rejoined track there, I think there would have been contact between them both. But Schiaparelli realised that Montana was going to have the outside line, gets the move done around the outside of Montana, and fair play to Schiaparelli for letting him through. But Montana's through and he's up to P8. As I was saying, Verstappen on the back of Alonso. Gap has just extended out to about 6/10 out on track. But RRT Louis still leads the way. Alphatrix in second, Cantera third, Lickel in fourth, Doom in fifth, Alonso sixth, Verstappen seventh. In eighth is Montana, Schiaparelli in ninth, Campbell in 10th. Ghost doing a good performance so far in 11th on his League of Europe Division 1 debut. In the meantime though, Campbell getting onto the back of Schiaparelli, who has got the quickest straight line speed between the Racing Point and the Red Bull. Don't think Campbell will try and commit this move, to be honest. In fact, he will. And speak of the devil, he's up the inside line, just leans on Schiaparelli slightly. Schiaparelli forced out wide of the corner and rejoins track and just adds a little bit of contact there. So Schiaparelli, Campbell, trying to get the move done. I think he's got to give that position back, if I've got to be honest. And now Schiaparelli is not happy with this one, and he's down the inside and forces Campbell off track. A little bit of bad blood now beginning to boil over between these two. They've got to keep it calm out on track. And Schiaparelli has got back through, I think rightfully, to the position he was supposed to be in. And Campbell out on track. Schiaparelli again loses control, losing more control this time compared to as Campbell tries to go up the inside line. Not going to be quite close enough there though. But a little bit of bad blood there between Schiaparelli and Campbell out on track. And what has that done in behind? Well, Ghost, Larkin and Toxic right on the back of this line of cars as well. Ghost trying to get the inside line into turn 1. Larkin right on the back. June picks up a 3-second time penalty there. He's in 5th position, the Spaniard. Well, Larkin now on the back of Ghost. So Schiaparelli and Campbell, hopefully we're going to see an apology between them both. A little bit of hard and relatively a little bit unfair racing, if I've got to be honest, between them both. But Toxic right on the back of Larkin. Of course, anybody in the stewards wants to have a look at that, then they can. Campbell right on the back then of Schiaparelli. Could be round 2 between these two. Red Bull down the inside. Can he get the move done this time? He parks it on the inside of the apex, and fair play to Campbell. He got that one done quite comfortably, and that is how to pull off an overtake. Campbell down the inside on Schiaparelli, who's not going to go into this up lightly. Larkin and Toxic are also fighting in behind. Schiaparelli not going to go for the move there though, and Campbell has got the position. He's up to 9th position. Larkin and Toxic are battling each other out on track. A little bit of a desync there between them both, and Toxic then is around the outside and he's up to 12th position. Schiaparelli though out on track, really struggling within the wet conditions, dropping like a fly through the field, but Campbell has now got the measure of him, and that's what matters currently out on track. RRT Louis then leads from Alphatrix in second, Cantera third. If you are just tuning in and you happen to be joining us for the first time, then welcome to League of Europe Division 1. Of course, I want to try and provide that little bit of light in your lives with everything that is going on in the real world. And of course, I'm James Hay, going to be taking you through the action here for the next 24 laps or so. With the rain getting lighter out on track, we are expecting to go to dry conditions, probably around the halfway stage, maybe just after that. But in terms of the racing out on track, it is still Louis who leads the way by 2 seconds from Alphatrix in second, Cantera third, Nickel Blocks in fourth, Doom in fifth. But this is a battle between Schiaparelli and Campbell. Both of them have been fighting out on track. A little bit of rivalry I sense between them both, as that is Toxic down the inside line on Schiaparelli. Ghost was aware of the danger, and fair play to Ghost. He saw that one coming. He didn't want to get involved in that. He's just let his teammate through completely, but a little bit of contact there, and I think Toxic realised he was not going to get that move overdone, and I think he probably just overdone it into the hairpin there. So Schiaparelli remains in P10. Toxic though is up into P11 out on track. As now a little bit of a battle beginning to happen further down the field. This is the Racing Point and the Red Bull. It's literally 2 Red Bulls and 2 Racing Points battling out on track between Campbell and Schiaparelli, the first ones, and Cohen and Mercurial Caesar, I should say. Caesar out on track defending the position from Cohen. Well, Caesar, just drifting it onto the curb there through turn 16. And now Cohen centres, he could get the move done down in towards turn 1. It's getting closer, he could have the run down towards turn 1. I think he's going to go for the gap here, and I think rightfully so he's not going to go for that one, especially in these conditions. Maybe in the dry he probably would have got the run off, but in the meantime, Larkin down the inside of Ghost for P12 and 13. Larkin trying to switch it back onto the inside curb, not quite, and now running through Parabolica once again. All hell about a break loose, I think. Verstappen is right on the back of Alonso. We'll focus on this, however, though, between Larkin and Ghost. Ghost just trying to force Larkin onto the grass, maybe slightly there. And the Brits down the inside. Ghost trying to go around the outside. And the Livid racing car, the traction is always on the outside of the corner in wet conditions. And Larkin and Ghost still finding it out, and Larkin gets the positions. A good move there by the Ferrari man, and he's up to P12 as Verstappen has dropped down past Montana. Not sure if that was a mistake there by Verstappen, just looking at any end plate damage, non-visible, so he must have just got caught on the curb and made a mistake there. So Verstappen down a position as well. Montana up to P7 as a result of that mistake, as Cohen and Caesar go side by side nearly through turn 12, and Cohen has got the move done on Caesar. Came on board with that late, but Cohen's got the move done. He's up to 14th. Really good battles then happening out on track, and of course I do want to, as I say, provide that little bit of light in your lives here tonight with everything that is going on in terms of the coronavirus. If you want to watch the if you want to listen to the latest advice, I did give that out at the start of the stream. You can rewind that you can rewatch that either afterwards, or you can watch it back now and then join me back in about 20 seconds or so. The advice I've given was in accordance to pretty much every guideline and every government that I was looking at and researching before we came live, and I'm going to do that across every single stream that I cover and every single stream that I record, no matter what league. I'm going to give the same advice out, because I think it's important that everyone is aware of the ongoing threat out there. And I know, as I say, there's been a little bit of a rivalry, I'm just going to say, within on Twitter tonight, on Twitter today I should say, between a couple of leagues. What everyone has got to be focused on, though, is health and safety. Health and safety of everyone is the priority, as that is the yellow flag in sector 2, and that is LR Ghost who is round. LR Ghost on the mini-map is round and has got going again. So that was through the Mercedes-Benz section, through turn 8 and 9 out on track. So Ghost dropping the car. In the meantime, though, we'll go on board with a battle, and it's looking like Schiaparelli and Toxic. Oh my god, what a recovery there from Toxic. Just when we go on board with him, just about to say that Toxic and Schiaparelli were about to battle. Toxic then beginning to maybe lose the heat in those tyres, and the rain is definitely getting a lot lighter here out on track in Germany. We should be expecting dry conditions to come out. I would say maybe lap 18, lap 19, if we want to play it that way. I think the rain is about to stop out on track. But Toxic right on the back of Schiaparelli. It's the German against the Brit. So, can the Racing Point defend the position? Toxic trying to look to the inside line there. He realised, I think, sensibly, that he wasn't going to try and dive it down the inside, like some drivers do. And I have seen around here in Hockenheim before, and I've seen that most of it doesn't happen that well. Most of the outcomes of that doesn't really end well. Toxic then right on the back of Schiaparelli. Campbell beginning to come back to these two by the looks as well. It's about 1.2 seconds separating these guys out on track for 9th, 10th and 11th. But the Red Bull defending off the position out on track from Schiaparelli and Toxic, 10th and 11th. Montana trying to get closer to Alonso in the meantime as well. Looking good from Montana at this stage. Of course, he's been in a good vein of form over the last few weeks or so. Montana right on the back of Alonso, and I think the rain has stopped out on track. It has. The rain has stopped out on track, so we should see the dry compounder tyres come out very shortly indeed. If anybody wants to go for a bit of a risk now, then they're a bit of a loon, I think, out on track. You can clearly see the spray still being kicked off. Once that spray has gone, we should see the DRS enabled out on track. It looks like the track is actually drying quite quick, but Montana right on the back of Alonso. Late move here by the Swiss man down the inside. Can he get the car stopped? He parks the bus on Alonso. That is a Montana-esque move right there, and he's up into P6. Good move by the McLaren man down the inside. Alonso might just feel a little bit hard done by, but Montana had the full car ahead through the corner. He got the move done, and he's up to 6th. Oh, and Schiaparelli's into the wall. Schiaparelli into the wall. I think it was side by side between Toxic and Schiaparelli there, and a safety car has been deployed at probably the wrong points in the race. What do the drivers do then now with the dry tyres now just moments away, I think. The top two are in, and it looks like another set of inters is for LRT Louis. I think the dry compound of tyres, however, though, is still going to be a couple of laps away. And Alpha Trix, I think, might have done the right thing. I think Louis has done this wrong. If I've got to be honest, I think LRT Louis has messed up his strategy here, and he's out on a set of intermediate conditions. When the rain has stopped, the track will dry out. Cantera also going for it. Little Block's also going for it as well. So they're going on a set of medium compounded tyres, as is Doom, as is Alonso on a set of hards. Looking at the tyre graphics, you can see the change in the tyres. And I think, honestly, if LRT Louis is now tuning in to this stream, I think he's done the wrong thing. I think that's just lost him the race. As Doom has retired out on track through turn 1, and that is unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen somebody crash underneath the safety car. They're trying to ball with this. Trying to ball with Cohen coming out the pits if he can. And there is Doom's car. He's actually spun it, I think, out the pits. Really strange indeed. But the drivers have got to be careful. This is what I'm on about with the dry compound of tyres. We've got to be careful because they've got to get heat into the tyres. Louis could easily predict the safety car here. The safety car will probably come in next lap around. If it's still intermediate conditions, then LRT Louis has done an absolute godsend here, and I think he might win him the race. But as of now, I think it's the wrong strategy to be on, because you can see, I think the spray is actually reducing on that Mercedes out on track. Going to be interesting to see though. Safety car out on track here in Germany, and LRT Louis leads. We're just shy of halfway here in Germany, and it's LRT Louis who I say leads. We've got the safety car out on track. Alpha Trix in second, Louis not coming into the pits. Cantera third, Little Block's in fourth. Alonso fifth, Montana sixth, Verstappen seventh, Campbell in eighth, Toxic in ninth, Larkin in 10th, Cohen, Cesar, Ghost and Waluigi are the other drivers going round still out on track. Doom crashing underneath the safety car, and not on by any stretch of the imagination, just probably lost control of the tyres coming out of the pit lane, and Schiaparelli is the chief sufferer out of that. He was the one, the cause of the safety car with him crashing off. As I say, I was under the impression it was side by side between Toxic and Schiaparelli at the time, so I think maybe it's just one of those things where you hang off the camera of the corner, you're on a bit of intermediates, you get caught on the curb and you go for a spin. I think that's probably what's happened there out on track. Cesar is back into the pits, however. Not sure why he is back in. No tyre change. I think there might have been a drive-through actually. I'll run on board them with Race Director and give you guys a bit of a penalty update. LRT Louis with 2 warnings. Alpha Trix with a penalty. Cantera with nothing. Little Blocks with a penalty. Alonso with a warning. Montana with a penalty. Verstappen with a warning. Campbell with a penalty. Toxic with 2 penalties. Larkin with a warning. Cohen with nothing. Ghost with a penalty. Waluigi with nothing. And Cesar, he didn't pit in. It looks like the game might have given him a 5-second time penalty. The safety car lights are still out on track. We should see the remaining drivers join towards the midpoint of lap 17. But you can see in the last 30 seconds there, when I went on board with Race Director, you can see the lack of spray that is being kicked off these tyres now. LRT Louis has got to judge this to perfection. He'd be hoping at this stage that DRS Enable doesn't come within the safety car period. I think, however, though, looking at the judgments and looking at how the tyres are out on track, I think LRT Louis might have done the wrong strategy here. We've just seen Larkin coming into the pits as well. He is into his pit box, and onto a set of mediums he goes. So Larkin into the pits. And just to point out, Cesar did go onto a fresher set of hards, I do believe. I'm under the impression, looking at the left-hand side of my screen, it looks like Cesar was on a fresh set of hards. So that's why he came into the pits, and he's now behind Larkin as a result. If you are just tuning in, then goodness me, out on track. Doom saying, interestingly, he thinks that Louis hit him. Not sure if he's saying that out on track within the Discord. I'm going to check that now just to confirm about that. No, nothing has came through out on track. I don't believe, unless I'm just missing something. But if that is the case, obviously the stewards will take a look into that. But June was lagging on my end anyways. It might not have been necessarily on his end, but he was lagging on my end, so that might have been a little bit of a cause for that as well. We should see the safety car lights go out on track now. Perfect timing, and RRT Louis will dictate the pace, and hopefully we're not going to see a DRS enabled for him on the next lap, because RRT Louis will dictate the tempo. He'd be hoping actually, and look at how quick he is actually going under the safety car, he is going to be hoping and praying that these tyres can last at least for the next couple of laps and try and pull out that gap to Alphatrix. I think the crossover period is quite close, to be honest. I honestly think Alphatrix might get Louis off the start. We'll see how this is going to unfold, because the lights have gone out on the safety car. Louis dictating the tempo, and we're back underway here in Germany. Through the halfway stage, it's RRT Louis who leads, and on the intermediate compound of tyres, he now floors it through turn 1, and he picks up a 3-second time penalty for running wide as well, but he's got that gap out to 6 tenths already. We should see that gap begin to increase if he is in there for the long haul. RRT Louis then through as everyone just try and dictates and get some tyre temp into those tyres. Alphatrix on the wrong set of tyres, I think. Cantera's gone sailing past him down the inside through Parabolica. Yeah, I am right. Through Parabolica, through the left-hander there. Out on track. Cohen and Luigi down in towards the hairpin. Goodness me, I'm losing the will today. A little bit of contact there, a little bit of a slide, and that is Caesar round. Caesar is round. RRT Louis then out on track is being caught by Cantera. The crossover period has came and gone, and RRT Louis now is going to have to pit because Cantera is sizing up a move here. Down the inside in towards turn 12. Can he get the move done? He can! The Spaniard into the lead of the race. Unbelievable stuff. Cantera through, and he's into the lead of the race. Lickle blocks down the inside as well. Realises he's coming, and RRT Louis, it's literally like fighting on ice at this stage, and it's like driving on ice for RRT Louis. He's in, and Alphatrix catches the back of him, just going slightly slow into the pit lane, but we're back in the way, and RRT Louis is into the pits, but Cantera leads by 6 tenths of a second from Lickle blocks in second. Alphatrix now third, Montana up to fourth as a result of the pit stops. Alonso in fifth, Verstappen in sixth, Toxic up to seventh, with Campbell 8th, Ghost in ninth, Larkin in 10th, while Luigi in 11th, Cohen in 12th, Caesar has got going again, he's in 13th, and RRT Louis into the pits. I think that is game over for him out on track. We'll see two battles begin to unfold. Alonso and Verstappen right on the back of each other. You can see the real line that is going through the middle of the tyres as Verstappen is down the inside line of Alonso. Trying to get the line, trying to get the move done here. The German on the outside line though. Germany against the Netherlands here in League of Europe, and Verstappen's got the move done, and he's up into 5th position. Alonso backs off, and the hard compound of tyres definitely not the one to be on, I don't think, out on track, as Luigi tries to look around the outside of Campbell. Of course, remember, Luigi actually on 4 laps fresher tyres, as is Campbell. They're beginning to battle out on track, and the guys on fresher tyres might not necessarily have the warmth within those tyres to get going. I haven't seen any DRS enabled, by the way, so I think DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap, and we'll confirm that just out on track. But it's Cantera who leads out on track and comes across the line. Lickle blocks in second, Alphatrix in third, Montana fourth, and Lickle blocks actually picking up a 3-second time penalty through there. Yep, DRS now enabled out on track. Larkin right on the back of goes through turn 1, and Campbell right on the back of him through turn 2 now. And the Scotsman right on the back of the British. Toxic is round. Toxic into the wall. Is that going to be another safety car, I wonder? Toxic into the wall. Are we going to see another safety car out on track? We do. There is another safety car out on track. And literally, when we got DRS enabled, the safety car's back out on track. Toxic just losing that back end through turn 4. You probably saw it on your screen. I definitely did. Toxic out of the race. Another safety car. It's almost as if we can't catch a break here in Division 1 tonight. Cantera leads underneath the safety car. What do the drivers do then? Of course, do they go fresher set of tyres? Softs I don't think will last toward the end of the race. I don't think anyone will pit in for a set of softs unless they are totally wacko, I think, out on track, unless they want to try and get to the end of the race on a set of really worn tyres towards the end of the race. But Cantera out on top. We'll see what is going to happen as the drivers come around the final couple of corners. Little blocks, ooh, trying to do a bit of Hamilton now. Looks like he was trying to do Cantera into the bits. Scrolling through, everyone is through the final corner, final couple of corners safely. This actually benefits RLT Louis, funny enough, I think, out on track. Back, he's trying to maintain his delta point at this stage, along with Caesar, who was actually into the pit. So Caesar, the only one into the pit, probably going to go on a set medium compound of tyres. I think he might have left side end plate damage as well. We can ride on board with him. Just try and pick up on this. Is this a front wing change for Caesar? No, it's not. He's back out on track as Campbell picks up a 10-second time penalty. Don't know what that was for, but answers on the postcard, I think, for that one. Cantera, Little blocks Alpha Tricks. Caesar gets onto the back, I think. Then we will see maybe the safety car coming in this lap. But until then, I'm going to be back in about 30 seconds. So then, are we going to see the safety car come into the pits this lap? No, we are not, because the safety car would have been into the pits by now. Or out of the lights, I should say, out on the safety car by now. But it's either not on the back, we're going to get another lap of the safety car. If you're just tuning in, 2 safety cars in the space of about 5 minutes. Cantera out in front, possibly looking for a first League of Europe win this season. Same with Little Blocks in only his second race here in Division 1. He is in second. Alpha Trix in third. Montana in fourth. The young pretender against the current champion about to unfold, I think, here again out on track. And Montana inevitably, I think, might be a little bit quicker than Alpha Trix with him being on a set of hard compounded tyres. Montana being on a set of mediums. Let's see how that is going to pan out, of course. Ghost has picked up a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. I'm just going to blow my nose and whatnot, and I'm going to be back in about 30 seconds again. The safety car is coming into the pits this lap once again. So that means Cantera will dictate the pace out on track and will dictate the safety cars. Little gets very close to the back of Cantera, doesn't want to get too close, otherwise he'll be picking up the penalty underneath the safety car. So we're about to get going here for lap 23 out of 34. There'll be 11 laps remaining after this one, and Cantera will lead the line once again underneath the safety car. Safety car now coming into the pits on the mini-map, and he's about to floor it. He floors it from turn 16, and Little Blocks has been caught absolutely napping there. Cantera, with a worldie of a start, is already 6.5 tenths clear as they come across the line. It's Cantera who lead through turn 1. Little Blocks in second, Alpha Trix in third. Bit of a shocker for Montana under the safety car restart. RLT Louis is already through on Cohen. Cohen is actually dropping past Caesar as well. Goes down the inside of Alonso, and he gets the move done. So the medium compound of tyres. Little Blocks is round, I think. Little Blocks, where is he at on track? He's gone through. He's not in the wall. He's into the wall. That's a very weird place to go off at, to be honest. And not sure what happened there with Little Blocks. Hopefully we'll take some explaining from him. But RLT Louis down the inside. What a move there by RLT Louis. He's mince-meeting his way through the field early on. Larkin and Alonso now side by side. Goes to get the move done on Alonso. Just to clarify that, Larkin now down the inside of the German. The Brit and the German fighting that out on track. And the German gonna have to defend the inside line here. Larkin respects him and gives him the position. So Alonso up to 6th. Larkin into 7th. Campbell, Louis And once again, Little Blocks has got that car going, I'm pleased to say. The McLaren man right at the back of the field. When he's on form, he is a really good driver, and I'm not sure what happened with him. Not sure if there was any, I don't think there was any contact with anyone. It might have just been a clutch of the curb and thrusting off the power. ILRT Louis though, right on the back of Campbell. Div 2 driver, against a 4-time winner here in League of Europe Division 1 this season. Both have won races, and Campbell and Louis out on track at 8th and 9th. But Louis trying to make good progress through the field. He wants to try and get past with all guns blazing. No DRS enabled on this lap. It will be enabled next lap, however. There's a yellow flag in sector 3, and Little Blocks is out of the race. Little Blocks out of the race, and I think that was a retirement in the pit lane. It shouldn't affect then a safety car. ILRT Louis then down the inside on Campbell, trying to get the move done. Campbell realises he's coming, and the Scotsman takes avoiding action, and Louis is through, and he's up to P8. Good move there by the Mercedes man as he comes through out on track. That yellow flag for sector 1 is out for Little Blocks, but we're not going to get a VSC or anything like that because he retired in the pit lane. Cantera still leads then, Alpha Trix in second. Montana now up to third into the podium positions, with Verstappen in fourth, Golson in fifth, Alonso sixth, Larkin seventh, Louis in eighth, Campbell ninth, Waluigi in 10th, Caesar in 11th, and Cohen in 12th. I'm going to try and push my voice to the limit for the next 10 laps or so. Coming round the final corner now, it's Cantera who leads by 8.5 tenths of a second, and the mediums currently outlasting the hards out on track. But Alpha Trix sets the new fastest lap of the race with a 1:13.8. Very good restart by majority of the drivers. DRS now enabled. Hopefully we don't get a safety car this time around. Thank you, Toxic, for that one. Louis right on the back of Larkin though, right down into turn 2. And Louis on 2 lap pressure mediums. He will be able to get those quite comfortably towards the end of the race. Everyone might be going towards punctuality as Little Blocks leads the session. Larkin closing up then on Alonso, who looks like a bit of a sitting duck running down the straight down towards the hairpin. Larkin trying to pull alongside, but Alonso sees him coming, pulls off the move, and Alonso now beginning to hold up a little bit of a train as Campbell tries to latch on to the back as well. Larkin and Louis though, Verstappen and Montana battling out on track, and Verstappen I think trying to make a lunge there down the inside of Montana. He is getting closer on that set of medium compounded tyres. LR Ghost, by the way, on his debut here in League of Europe Division 1 for this season. Of course, if you are familiar with his name, you might have seen him in Formula 2 on a Monday night. Ghost, however, in 5th on his League of Europe debut, and I've got to say, what a good performance this is from him. Top 5 position, I think he would take that, judging by what has happened already out on track. Larkin and Louis and Campbell, oh my god, Campbell with a great recovery, similar to what we saw with Toxic actually about 8 or 9 laps ago. Recovering car off the curb. The sun now beginning to come out and break through the clouds here out on track in Germany. Alpha Trix getting closer to Cantera. Hards looking like the tyres to be on at this stage, but Verstappen and Goals closing in on Montana, on board with Verstappen. Montana switches to the inside line. Verstappen trying to go all the way around the outside as Goals nearly contacts the back of him. Montana just parking the bus there slightly. Verstappen then looking to the outside line. This is still not over between the Swissman and the Dutchman out on track. Goals right on the back of this as well, but Verstappen will have to hold sway for now, and Montana holds on to third, just about out on track as the mediums now begin to really not work against the drivers out on track. And the only ones on a set of hards, Alpha Trix and Alonso. Alpha Trix saying that he completed a gym workout before this race here tonight. He had to get a gym session in last week, which is why he missed his home Grand Prix in Silverstone. But with ILRT Louis not really capitalising on a great race here, Alpha Trix could be open to try and take the win once again and break ILRT Louis' perfect run over the last 4 weeks or so. Louis just extends through turn 1. Left 27 out of 34 out on track. ILRT Louis nearly into the back there of Alonso, but this should be sitting duck territory for Alonso. I don't think he'll have the DRS. He does, he just about has the DRS. Who's got the straight line speed though? As we've got a 3-way battle for third. Verstappen, Montana and Goals. Goals trying to go around the outside of Montana. Montana, the meat and the sandwich, trying to go up the inside line. Not quite. Louis got the move done on Alonso, however, further down the field. He's up to 7th. And good battling here is Montana. Just nearly pushes Goals off track. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but Montana, I think, had the car in front. Whether he tried to put Goals off onto the grass there remains to be seen. The stewards might want to take a little bit of a look into that one. Don't think it would have been Montana's intention to, but judging by how close they were, then a little bit of contact was made. But Montana still in fourth, trying to find his way past Verstappen again. Montana probably not happy with why Verstappen has gone past him, but a 28 out of 34 begins. Alphatrix right on the back of Cantera for the lead of the race. I can't believe I'm saying this. We have actually got overtaking here in Germany. Top 5 moments will be a lot better than last week, I can tell you that. Alonso, 3-second time penalty. Goes trying to get onto the back of Montana further down the field, but this is a battle for the lead. And Cantera now, the Spaniard, has got to do everything in his power to try and defend off the current championship leader. Alphatrix though, Cantera I think should have defended the inside line there, but Alphatrix down the inside. Cantera trying to get the traction onto the outside of the corner. He tries to switch it back. He could be close enough, but Alphatrix is through and he takes the lead of the race. Does the Brit out on track. Campbell and Alonso going for a bit of a battle here. The Red Bull and the Haas. The Red Bull driver cuts in front of the Haas and he gets the move done. So Campbell up to 8th position, the Division 2 champion from last season. And of course Monaco winner this season. RRT Louis though was still fighting his way through the field. Be a remarkable comeback if he can try and pull this off, and he's not going on the outside as Ghost is into the wall. Ghost is into the wall and out of the race, and a VSC has been deployed. Why couldn't we get a safety car at that point? Because there would have been a hell of a lot more exciting. A VSC then deployed out on track as we're about to begin the last 6 laps of the race. Larkin into the pits, which is quite strange. Larkin then into the pits. Not sure if he's got a penalty or anything to serve up. But he's into the pits, he's going for a set of softs. I think he's going for fastest lap, so Larkin going to go for the fastest lap of the race. We should see the virtual safety car out very soon indeed. Cantera right on the back of Alphatrix. He doesn't want to let him go. Of course, they've got to stick to a delta time, and I think we're better get back underway. And yes, we are back underway. Campbell has gone through and Alonso underneath the VSC, while Luigi's dropped down past Caesar as well. It's a good start by them, but Cantera not getting close to the back of Alphatrix as Alonso down the inside goes the German. A little bit of contact there with the Scotsman. Position might have to be given up, and actually Caesar is fighting his way through the field. He's on the inside line on much fresher tyres. I think he might be getting the move done around the outside here, and he's got the move done through into turn 8 through the Mercedes-Benz section. He's up into 7th. Good move there by Caesar out on track. He's making his way slowly through the field. Luigi then on the back of Campbell, 2.5 tenths separating. P8 and P9 out on track, and Alphatrix currently leads. 5 laps to go then for the leaders as they come across the line to start the 5th last lap. Lap 30 out of 34. It's Alphatrix who leads from Cantera in second. Beautiful helicopter cam though to be right on board with Waluigi in his pursuit to try and get Campbell. In the meantime though, Montana is trying to battle with Verstappen. 3rd and 4th out on track, the Dutchman and the Swissman. Verstappen has already overtaken Montana once. This time it might be Montana's turn to try and repay the favour. He's now run down towards turn 6 hairpin once again. And Montana not looking close enough there. Cantera wasn't looking close enough there on the back of Alphatrix either. Looking through the field, nobody going for any sort of move. Caesar though right on the back of Alonso, and Alonso just struggling I think out on track in terms of pace. Caesar and Campbell right on the back of him. As Alonso currently out on track in P6. Nearly getting towards the end of the race here. We've only got 4.5 laps to go. Well, nearly 4 laps if you're being picky. And Alphatrix currently leads the way out on track. And what a race it's been. 2 safety cars, a VSC and a wet race. Pretty much every race you come to expect I think in Division 1 nowadays. Cohen though in the meantime is on the back of Waluigi. New fastest lap of the race set by RRT Louis. We should see Larkin try and set the fastest lap of the race as well. But Cohen in P10. Looking good through there. And not onto the back of Waluigi just yet. We'll just catch on board with Larkin, who does indeed set the new fastest lap of the race with a 1:13.3. That was Campbell just going out wide, taking a little bit of overspeed through the corner. We try and rush on board with every bit of action that we can. Alphatrix and Cantera though for the battle for the lead. Is the Ferrari against the Alfa Romeo at this stage. The Alfa is still sticking in there. Of course, the tyres will begin to come back towards Cantera towards the end of the race. They're both on 16-lap-old hards and mediums respectively. But Cantera, his tyres will come back sooner compared to Alphatrix. He'll almost get like a second wind That is why you're seeing Cantera still on the back of Alphatrix, and I think underneath the safety car, it has really not cost them that much in terms of the tyres. We've had 2 safety cars. With them being out on track, I think it's probably saved them about 2, 3, 4% maybe extra in terms of the tyre strategy. 3 laps to go for the leaders. So everyone now comes across the line. RRT Louis then against Montana for 4th position. This is going to be a very interesting one between the McLaren and the Mercedes. And RRT Louis, Caesar is out of the race. Caesar out of the race through turn 1. And unfortunate for him, another DNF. And no points for the Racing Point team either, with Chapelletti's 18th position. 2nd position last time out with 18 points. There won't be any safety cars. Montana tries to lunge it down the inside. And RRT Louis very late on the brakes. Montana has to see him coming. And Montana just about holds him off. While Luigi has got through on Cohen down the straight. So while Luigi back up into P8, Cohen had already passed him. So they swapped positions as they were. Caesar has left the session. But Alphatrix, has he got the tricks out on track to try and reclaim his winning form? Or will Cantera win his first race here in League of Europe this season? Verstappen on the back in 3rd, Montana 4th, Louis in 5th. But with 2 laps to go, it's still really anyone's game here in Germany. And hopefully you guys have been enjoying the action out on track. If you have, like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Take that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Apart from Division 2 and Division 4 coming up, the next action that you'll see from me here on League of Europe channel is Formula 2 on a Monday night. And as I will stress, as per usual, it is business as usual here in League of Europe. But RRT Louis on the back of Montana. This is what I think every viewer has probably tried to watch before. Montana against Louis. Louis has just outpaced down the straight those. Montana tries to look to the inside. It's going to be a final lap move if Montana wants to go for one. But Alphatrix still out in front. Cantera 2nd, Verstappen 3rd, Montana 4th, Louis in 5th. The race has been split apart under that VSC restart. And Alphatrix and Cantera dominating out in front. Of course, keep an eye on the penalties, because there will be quite a few penalties, I think, out on track for drivers. And of course, any stewards investigations that follow will be inevitably received. As Ghost has left the session, we thank him though for attending tonight. Only the top 10 I think will get points as well, with Caesar and Ghost not getting past half, or not getting towards the 80% rule, I think it is, here in League of Europe. Alphatrix though onto the final lap, leads the way from Cantera in 2nd, and Alphatrix's tyres beginning to come back, and he's beginning to pull away early. Alphatrix then coming through turn 2 once again. Cantera on the back of him. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough. We'll drop on board though with the battles happening further down. It's the battle for 3rd again. Montana has got to try and make this count. Verstappen is an utter sitting duck here. He's like a geese that is trying to fly for the first time. Montana though is the geese that tries to fly for the final time, and he's down the inside. Goes Montana, and he's got the move done on Verstappen. Very comfortable in the end, and RRT Louis trying to get involved in this as well. Cohen and Luigi have gone past each other once again. Verstappen to the outside line through turn 8, surely not on the brakes. Montana goes a little bit too deep. Verstappen right on the back, and RRT Louis is trying to get involved as well. Oh, the Mercedes trying to nick it up the inside, not quite. The battle will still rage on though, in behind. I think they're going to stay as they are possibly as they come through the final couple of corners. We'll catch on board though. RRT Louis not going to come through, but Alphatrix pulling away on the final lap here, and the hard compounder tyres will last to the end. The Ferrari man back to form here in Germany and takes the win. Alphatrix cross line to win in Germany, but on penalties it's Cantera who takes it. Watch out for the penalties though. Montana, Verstappen, Louis, I think they stay as they are. We could see a few gains. Alonso up to 5th. Campbell stays as he is, while Luigi and Cohen will go past him and lock in around the final couple of corners. So Cantera takes the victory, the Spaniard, for the first time in League of Europe Division 1 this season. And I think maybe, if I'm not mistaken in saying, that might be his first victory at all when I've commentated on him. So Cantera takes the win in Germany nonetheless, and we'll see the podium celebrations very shortly as the Alfa Romeo man takes the top step of the podium. The Spaniard, for the first time this season, takes the win, and Alphatrix, well, he did everything right. except from not pick up a 3-second time penalty, which he did, and that is a downfall of Alpha Trix. But he is back to form after his DNS and after RRT Louis' dominance over the last few weeks. It is good to see, I've got to say, a different winner out on track. Alpha Trix second, and a great race from Verstappen, and he takes third out on track. And it is Cantera who takes the win out on track. The Spaniard from fourth on the grid takes it here in Germany. Alpha Trix in second, Verstappen in third, Montana in fourth, Alonso fifth, Louis in sixth, Waluigi seventh, Cohen in eighth, Larkin in ninth, Campbell in 10th. Those are the finishers, as Caesar, Ghost, who were in point scoring positions, will not get the points because they didn't finish. Little Blocks, Toxic, Doom and Chapelelli all DNFing out on track. Well, I think we can take a bit of a breather after that one, because what a phenomenal race that was in Germany. Possibly one of the better races of the season, certainly better than last week in Silverstone. But honestly, out on track, what fantastic action, and hopefully you guys will get to see more of that to come. Division 3, by the way, has ended as well, so everyone that's tuning in to Division 1, welcome, because looking at some of the comment section, looking at some of the comments that were coming in, Doom, I'm not Doom, I'm just quoting Grosjean's engineer. I do apologise, I think I got myself mixed up with that. Palmer coming in and saying perhaps Mercedes have switched strategists with Ferrari. Louis has been saved. Yeah, that was under the safety car. He did get saved in general, apart from the penalties. Cantera and Little Blocks are definitely the underdogs of the race. Cantera was definitely the underdog of the race. He took the win out on track. Toxic saying me equals washed up. Me equals me crashing. Yeah, you did crash out on track, I do believe. So that is unfortunate out on track. It might have just been, as I say, a bit of a slip up on your end. But that is it for tonight. I better get myself off this stream and on to the next one, because I'm honestly absolutely done. Thank you very much for coping with us, and I hope to God that I have given you something to smile about here in Division 1 on this Saturday night. And I know how hard it is for everyone out there, but keep safe, keep to the advice, go back on the advice that I said at the start of the stream, and we should all be fine. Next week, you will see us, of course, going to round 11 of the championship, and round 11 of the championship will come at, if I'm not mistaken, and I've got to get this right because I have been wrong about the tracks before here, after Germany, we do go to, I'm just getting it up now, this is why I'm delaying it a little bit, so I can get the official track for you guys. Let me have a look. If I just get it up now, we are going to be racing next Saturday in, as I've now found the calendar, we're going to be in Hungary. So we're at the Hungaroring next week at Magna Nedadec for the Hungarian Grand Prix out on track for round 11 of the championship. Hopefully you can join us then. Thank you very much for watching. I've been James Head. Thank you and goodbye.